Welcome to Getting Ready for Sunday, a podcast of First Lutheran Church. Each week, I introduce the readings for the upcoming Sunday with some notes and explanation so you can be ready for worship when you arrive. I look at the Old Testament, Psalm, Epistle, and Gospel reading for the upcoming Sunday and offer a few notes and explanation. The Old Testament reading for Sunday, February 11th, comes from 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. Now when the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven by a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha were on their way from Gilgal. And Elijah said to Elisha, "Please stay here, for the Lord has sent me as far as Bethel." But Elisha said, "As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you." So they went down to Bethel, and the sons of the prophets who were in Bethel came out to Elisha and said to him, "Do you know that today the Lord will take away your master from over you?" And he said, "Yes, I know it. Keep quiet." Elijah said to him, "Elisha, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho." But he said, "As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you." So they came to Jericho. The sons of the prophets who were at Jericho drew near to Elisha and said to him, "Do you know that today the Lord will take away your master from over you?" And he answered, "Yes, I know it. Keep quiet." Then Elijah said to him, "Please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to the Jordan." But he said, "As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you." So the two of them went on. 50 men of the sons of the prophets also went and stood at some distance from them, as they both were standing by the Jordan. Then Elijah took his cloak and rolled it up and struck the water, and the water was parted to the one side and to the other, till the two of them could go over on dry ground. When they had crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, "Ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you." And Elisha said, "Please, let there be a double portion of your spirit on me." And he said, "You have asked a hard thing, yet if you see me as I am taken from you, it shall be so for you. But if you do not see me, it shall not be so." And as they still went on and talked, behold, chariots of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariots of Israel and its horsemen!" And he saw him no more. Then he took a hold of his own clothes and tore them in 2 pieces. Here ends the reading. This is such an interesting story, really dramatic and powerful, the idea of Elijah, the prophet, going up into heaven. And it begins with Elijah taking his apprentice, Elisha, all around the area. Elijah takes Elisha, and they go to Bethel, and he tells Elisha to stay behind, and Elisha says, "No, I'm going with you." And they get there, and it's really interesting. So it says, "And so they went down to Bethel, and the sons of the prophets who were in Bethel came out to Elisha and said to him." Now I'm pausing there, because I want you to think a little bit about Elijah's life. That phrase, "the sons of the prophets," should strike you a little bit. Remember what Elijah's early prophetic ministry was like? Elijah goes up against the king, and his wife Jezebel is out killing all the prophets of God, and it gets so bad that Elijah ends up curling up in the wilderness and asking God to kill him because he's the only prophet left, and everybody is out to hunt him and kill him and find him and make him dead. He's like, "Just kill me, it's over." And now, within the same lifetime, Elijah is going from town to town, and everywhere he goes, the sons of the prophets, which are prophets themselves, like the local prophets of God, are coming out of the town to meet them. He goes from being the last of his kind, persecuted, almost dead, ready to call it quits, and now there are prophets everywhere. Amazing, right? It's amazing what God did in one man's lifetime to go from what looked like terrible defeat to all of a sudden seminaries are springing up everywhere and producing pastors all over the place. Just an interesting note. So when they get there, the sons of the prophets come out and they go to Elisha and they say to him, "Hey, do you know that today the Lord will take away your master from over you?" And Elisha knows. He says, "Yes, I know. Keep quiet." What is that about? I actually have no idea. I'm trying to figure out, why is Elisha trying to keep all this quiet? So Elisha takes him again. So they go down to Jericho. He says, "Stay here." But Elisha says, "Nope. As the Lord lives and as you yourself live, I will not leave you." So they go on the tour. This time they come down to Jericho, and the same thing happens. Another group of the sons of the prophets comes out. And they say the same thing. "Do you not know that today the Lord will take away your master from over you?" And Elisha replies again, "Yes, I know it. Keep quiet." So Elijah does it again. "Stay here. I'm going to the Jordan." They go down to the Jordan. 50 men of the sons of the prophets, so just a portion of the sons of the prophets, also come. And they stood at a distance and they see this. And then Elijah rolls up his cloak, strikes it in the water, and they go across. And here's where you get some very interesting things. Elijah then turns to Elisha and says, "Ask me what you want from me. What should I do?" And Elisha says, "Give me a double portion of your spirit." Well, here I'll quote it. It says, "Please let there be a double portion of your spirit on me." So what is Elisha asking? What we see here is an inheritance language. When a man dies and leaves his sons an inheritance, the inheritance is spread out amongst the sons equally, except for the firstborn son who gets a double portion. And so this is inheritance language. Elijah has been going out to all the quote-unquote sons of the prophets and showing off Elisha, and they're seeing everyone. And now that Elijah is going up into heaven, Elisha is asking to be the firstborn son of the prophet. Not to receive like twice Elijah's spirit, but a double portion, as in to be the chief, the firstborn, the double portion of the inheritance. And so as the office of prophet is passed down from Elisha, who's kind of the stereotypical prophet, Elisha becomes the main prophet. Well, all these sons of the prophets are also inheriting a portion of that office and spirit as it's been passed down to them. And so Elisha becomes kind of the key one as we move into the next set of stories in Kings, while Elisha passes that inheritance on. And there are other prophets, but Elisha is the main one. So he says, "You've asked a hard thing, yet if you see me as I am being taken from you, it shall be so for you. But if you do not see me, it shall not be so." So what they do is he says, if you see me when I'm taken up, you'll get the double portion. If you don't, you won't get the double portion. So Elisha sees it. He cries out. This chariot of fire goes in between them, preventing Elisha from getting near Elijah. And then Elijah is taken up into heaven in a whirlwind. What comes after this is a big deal because it shows what the result is. Elisha, he tears his clothes, and then he goes to the Jordan, the place where Elijah took off his mantle and rolled it up and slapped the Jordan River. So Elisha does the same thing, takes off his mantle, slaps the Jordan River, and it parts, and he walks across on dry ground. And this shows that Elijah's power has been passed on. He's received Elijah's spirit, and Elisha is now the main guy. What I take from this is that this office of prophet is passed down in the history of Israel, similarly to the way we have the office of pastor. and that there's this proclamation element of the prophet that is passed on to the people. And that now that Christ has come, we have something very similar in every congregation and in every place, a prophetic ministry of preaching that goes out into the world. That's all we have for today. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye.